Hello, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name is Tracy and I am your host. And today I have a co-host in Tasha here, who is our cat. I think you saw that if you've checked in before, I think way back in episode 2, you may have seen the tail end of her. So she's going to join me today on the podcast. So welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name is Tracy. I am Tracy RR on Ravelry, and I am Comfy Red Couch on Instagram. And this is my The Comfy Red Couch YouTube channel. And we now have 107 subscribers, which means we have a contest. Yay! With fun Cauldron of Colors yarn. So I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I do want to address, I hope I don't get too emotional on this one. Last night in London, there was a tragic event, and it's so hard to find the words to talk about basically senseless brutality in our world. I mean, we are knitters, we are creators, we are makers. We make beautiful things. So when things go wrong with our world, it's so hard to make sense of it. So. But I wanted to acknowledge that I'm thinking of the people who have been affected, whether that is, actually being there witnessing these tragic events, or whether it is just feeling like maybe not safe in your own atmosphere. And I know last summer when my family went to London, I could really feel just a heightened sense of alertness, and we happened to be there when the police chief came on the news and said it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I know, being from Toronto, we don't have armed guards around, and just seeing that in Europe, and that's become the reality. I mean, we certainly don't want to become desensitized, but it's very apparent when you're in, I guess, living in Canada and you go overseas, just how much of an impact the war on terrorism has had. So, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledged that there's no words. I mean, the words are, as I said, difficult to find. But today I want to bring a bit of joy to people, and joy to myself. And so today let's talk about knitting, and in my case, unknitting. Oh, this week was brutal for crafts for me, but I'll talk about that. And let's talk about the beautiful things that we create as makers. So let's get started with that. I think I already said I'm Tracy RR on Ravelry. I am Comfy Red Couch on Instagram, and so let's get started. So I did mention last week that if we got to 100 subscribers, I would be having a contest for this lovely skein of Invictus by the Cauldron of Colors. Sarah at the Cauldron of Colors sent this to me. It's got, as I said, a cute little witch on it if you've checked in before. Beautiful colors, soft merino. And I think it didn't come with the tag, but she's sending me the tag now, so I'm excited to see that. So so this, plus there might be a few little goodies I put in there, maybe some tea, maybe a few little other things to make this a fun very first contest, a very worthy one. So anyway, I think what I will do for this contest is have people send me a message on Ravelry. So I am Tracy RR, TRACEYRR on Ravelry, and just a little note saying if you had to be stranded anywhere for a week, where would that be? So I'm not even stranded, anywhere you would like to go and craft for a whole week, and where would that be in the world? So no worries about money. I think my dream thing would be to be on the Queen Mary 2. I would love to take the Queen Mary 2 across from New York to Southampton, and just that week of being on that ship with lots of lovely yarn and knitting. That would be sort of my dream week away. So what would your dream week away be? Where would it be? If you feel so inclined to tell me what you'd like to knit on, whether it's socks, you can add that, but I'm looking mainly for that dream place that you would love to make. So nowhere in it. And I mean, if you want to be stranded on a desert island, there's electricity there. Okay, so just that ultimate dream place that you would like to be. So, and at the end of the week, what I will do, because I'm not so tech savvy, is I will write down everybody's Ravelry code names. I'm going to put them in a hat, and I'm actually going to draw them out of the hat just for fun, rather than a random number generator, because with Ravelry I don't know how to do that. So send me a message, and next week I will have a draw. So I will close that at so I usually film Sunday mornings, so I will close that at 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, whatever it is. So 7 a.m. Saturday, Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern. So if you're in, I don't know, England, and I think you're 5 hours ahead of us, that's like about noon. I'm not a math person. About noonish. I'll let you figure that out. So anyway, so I will close that at 7 a.m. on Sunday of next week, and Eastern Daylight Time. So then that gives everyone a chance to sort of think about where you'd like to be and what you'd like to craft maybe. And we'll draw that next week. So that is some fun stuff that's going to be happening. So, it has been a crazy crafting week for me. It was the release of the Sprites Fen shawl. That's the second Shawl Society 2 release. And oh my goodness, I spent more time this week unknitting than I spent knitting. Well, no, I spent lots of time knitting, then unknitting, knitting, more unknitting. Those sprites, they got in my way. But I'll talk about that later when I do have a shawl to show you. So I'm really excited to show you that. It's all blocked. It's ready to go. I'm hoping to take some photographs later on today, put those on my Ravelry page and Instagram page. But it was not without challenges for sure. And as a result of working on the Sprites Fen shawl all week long, I have no works in progress. I have no material girl. So it's been a kind of crazy crafting week. So anyway, let's get started and talk about which segments I will be talking about today. Let's talk about what I do have. I do have a pattern that I wanted to share. And so this is going to be one of my goals this summer, is to make the Louise light. And I did pick this up a little over a week ago, and I just like it. So I haven't figured out which yarn. I've got a few sweater quantities of yarn that have been languishing in my stash for a while, and I want to pull them out and actually make something with them. So I like the fact that this has the two different colors. I did think about doing something like this in multicolor. So I don't know when. At some point I will sit down and I will figure it out and do the Louise Light cardigan. And the other thing that I worked on this week was my Sprite Sven shawl by Curious Handmade Helen Stewart. And oh, this was a challenge. I've had the pattern for quite a while and I was working away on it. I had a few other things sort of jump the queue, or when the Shawl Society pattern wasn't easy to work on because I was in the car or I was out. I worked on my sock that I showed, can't remember if that was last week or the week before. Anyway, I think it was 2 weeks ago I showed the brown socks. And so I got those done. And then last week I had a gift that I had to knit for a coworker because the shower was on Friday. So that jumped the queue over the Sprite Sven shawl, which then put me behind the 8 ball because I did not time manage very well. But I do have a lovely shawl to share with you today. So this is in the Dye for Yarn Tussa Lace Silk, Tussa Silk Lace, and this was all I had left. So it's about 700 yards, I believe, for a skein of the Dye for Yarn, and this is 5 grams, so I used quite a lot of it, and I was at different points getting quite nervous because I used the percentage chart on my working version, and especially at the very beginning, the percentages were kind of scaring me because at 10% I had used 15 grams, so I had 85 grams left. So I was a little bit nervous about whether I would have enough yarn, but luckily I did. And this is the beautiful Sprite's Fen shawl in Withering Bunch of Roses, the Tussa Silk lace weight. So the drape is absolutely gorgeous. And just, I love how this blocks out. So if you had it, no one saw, but if you had a chance to have seen this before I blocked it, it looks like a dish rag, but then it just blocks out so beautifully. And I did put the points on it. I thought about having round edges, but I just wanted to throw the wires in and have it blocked really nice and tight so that I could show it today. It would be dry. So I only blocked this last night. After getting it off the wires last night. So I have to tell you though, this row right here, this lace row, was knit 3 times. So I knit it, I got past, and I realized up in the section up here, I had half a row knit, half a row purl in a, and you know what, I can't even remember if it was supposed to be a garter row or a knit row. So I looked and I saw it, and my big folly is I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I mean, it's a test knit, so I want it to be perfect. It's also a gift for my next door neighbor. I want it to be perfect, so it meant pulling out, because by the time I realized it, I had done about 10 rows, so it meant pulling out a ton of knitting. So I think I had gotten down to about here, and was maybe 5-6 rows away from being finished, realized that I had a mistake all the way up here, had to put in a lifeline, and because I like to live dangerously and not have lifelines, so I had to put the lifeline in, and then I had to rip it all back to the lifeline, and then I had to pick up all the stitches, and then I realized I had dropped a couple little bits and bobs there. So I then had to unknit back 1 more row and got my count right finally, and then started knitting again. And, you know, got through to, I think it's row 195 for the second time, and got to the end of that row and it didn't quite match up. And about 10 stitches from the very beginning of that row, and this is a lace row, I had forgotten to do a S2KP. I had forgotten to do that, and that threw my numbers off, so I had to then take back that whole entire row. And you know, I was dealing with some lace stitches, so definitely had to be very, very careful unknitting, and then reknit it again. So did it the first time, had to go all the way back, did it the second time, had to go back to the start of that row, at least not 10 rows back like before, and then finally did it. So last night when I got this finally bound off, yes, relaxation. So it was kind of funny about this shawl too. So yeah, it is beautiful, and it's huge. As I said, I will be gifting it to my next door neighbor. That does not look very good right now. I need to style that a little bit better. Anyway, she will love it, and so there, we'll just go the easy way. So anyway, so this is my Sprites Fen shawl, and yeah, those little sprites, they kept me going. My big problem really was that I just was not mindfully knitting. The errors that I had were just stupid little things. We often have those. Some days I always feel like some days I have good knitting days, and other days just, if something can go wrong, it does. And this past week, if something can go wrong, it did. So, but anyway, it is a beautiful pattern by Helen Stewart, and now that it is finally off the needles, I'm very, very pleased with it, but just getting it off the needles was such a challenge, and I did not meet the deadline, which I think for me was the most upsetting part of it, because I like to get things done by, you know, I live my life by bells and deadlines, and so for me not to meet a deadline was, I think, the worst part of it all. So but it is done, and I sometimes have to tell myself not to take my knitting so seriously. So anyway, that is my finished object for the week, my only work in progress this week, my only craft this week, the center of my universe this week. So, and thankfully I will photograph it, give it to my next door neighbor, and I know it will be loved and appreciated. So she's a knitter as well, so I know she knows the work that went into this. And I think on Friday I showed her what I had done, and she said, well, why, you could leave it the way, you could have left it the way it was. And I was, no, I couldn't. It had to be perfect. So there it is. So anyway, so that is the Sprites Fen shawl, and that was Material Girl, It's a Softness, and my favorite things all rolled up into one, because that's how this week went. Anyway, so it is now time for brown paper packages, and this helped to kind of keep me calm this week. I had some beautiful things, and I actually received one of my packages on, I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was such a hectic week, and I'd look at it, at the package, and I thought, you know what, I'm not opening that up until I am calm. So I actually did not open a package until Friday, so I can't, as I said, I can't remember whether I got it Tuesday or Wednesday, but it sat on my knitting table for most of the week while I stress knit. So anyway, let's move on to brown paper packages. And first off this week, I got this cute little box, and it is a Sucre miniature. And it is a lavender cup of tea, and I've left it in the container, the crinkly wrapping, because I think it probably will be easier to see. So it is a lavender cup of tea. Look at this, and it's got lemon on it, which I love lemon, and so it's kind of nice that it is crinkle and washi tape. I got the clasp in rose gold because I love rose gold, and this is just the cutest little cup of tea ever. And since I absolutely love tea, I don't know if it's focusing. Anyway, so it is a cute little cup of tea with some lavender, some lemon, and just adorable. So I will be using that as a little marker. And I saw that and I thought, I have to have that. So I did brave the, it turned out I think I didn't have to, I think there was a pre-order that I could have gone, but I got it in one of the earlier ones so that I'm not making sense. So Sucre Miniatures, there had been a couple of updates, and so I was able to get this in one of the earlier updates, and then I think it got opened up to like more of a pre-order so that more people were able to get this one, because it was a hit. It's just, I mean, it's so cute. It's, who wouldn't want a cute little cup of lavender tea? And that's actually what I'm drinking today, is lavender tea, and I'm going to talk about my lavender tea too. So definitely fitting, and of course when I saw that I love my lavender tea, I had to get this Sucre miniature. I have a couple other ones that I ordered that will be coming later. Oops, it's upside down. And definitely did not go the way I wanted that to go. Anyway, so that's my Sucre miniature. Put it back in the box, I'll deal with it later. Anyway, that is one of the lovely little things I got in the mail today, and it came in such a cute little box. So that is there. And then I got a huge parcel from Viola, and I mentioned that when I first received the parcel, are you having a little rollover? When I first received the parcel, it sat on the knitting table for a few days just because I was not in a frame of mind to really enjoy opening the package. And because I know Emily put so much love into and time into putting her packages together, that it needs to be appreciated. And I was just not in an appreciative mood. And Friday, I had a fantastic day at work. I went to an event, had a lovely lunch with some colleagues at a local college, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so fun. And I got to sit beside one of the, I guess, higher ups, and just a great conversation. It was a lovely day. And so when I came home on Friday after having a wonderful day, that was the time to open my gift, or my gift to myself. That was the time to open my parcel. So, oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. Come on up. I know you hate each other, but you know, it's okay. Come on up. Come up, 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 up. Come on. Up. No, I'd rather have your attention. Give me full attention. Pet me. That's what you want, isn't it? Anyway, come on. Everybody wants to see you. Yes. They've seen Tasha enough. Come, come. Come, come. Up. Up. Yes, there we go. There is Scout. So now it's like total knitting party now. We can have a total knitting party now that we've got cat, dog, and Tracy. So anyway, here, you can settle. Anyway, so I was saying that Friday I came home and I was able to finally sit down and truly appreciate opening the package that Emily had sent me. And I got some lovely things, so I'm going to share those now. So first off, though, she sent me a lovely little postcard for the Palmcast Live and for Palm Fest, and she's got a little message to me on this side. So nothing much, but just enough that yeah. Anyway, so this is the event she'll be going to in London, and so if anyone has a chance to go see her speak, I did see her a few weeks ago, and I talked about that on the podcast a few weeks ago. Fantastic presentation, and Emily is such a lovely person. So if you have a chance to go to London to see this, definitely try and fit it into your schedule. Okay, so I got some beautiful things. I did show that I had bought one of these the other day, and this was Thistle. I got a second one because this was one of the things I regretted not getting, and I talked about not getting the 2 blue skeins of the Merino singles in Midnight, and so I did pick those up. So these will be really nice together, I think. So that was part of the package that I received. And the rest was mainly sock yarn because I love Emily's sock yarn. So I got a few Eclipse colorways. So this is one of the Eclipse colorways. And Eclipses are basically non-repeatables. Are you going now? That Emily makes. And so here is one of my Eclipses. And this one is, there's the Eclipse. Isn't this one just wonderful? And lots of fun colors in there. And I think I ended up getting 3 Eclipses all together. Not that one. There we go. And my final Eclipse right here is sort of grays and pops of other lovely little colors, some blues and reds, and just wonderful Eclipseness. So these were my 3 Eclipse colorways, and I'm not sure what I'll make with them. I might put this one, because these look quite lovely together. So I may put those together. And so that's some of the stuff that I got. And then I bought Soft. So Soft is just a beautiful, soft, sort of pinky, mauve, soft. It's soft, right? What else can you say about it? And lots of lovely little speckles, and I love Viola sock. So Viola sock is, I think it's 80-20. No, it's 75% superwash and 25% nylon, and I need glasses. I have glasses. I just need them just for reading. And it's 460 yards of wonderful sock knitting goodness. This is one of my 2 favorite yarns ever is Emily sock. It's just so nice. So yeah, Soft. And then I bought some sock kits, and there's one I wish I had bought, but I didn't buy. But I mean, you can only get so much, right? You have to leave some for other people too. I have a love affair with Garden Ghost. I love Garden Ghost. I cannot leave it alone. And you can see I've got a lot of really sort of paler colorways. So this is my Garden Ghost, and Emily's sock kits come with 2 minis. So this is Hydrangea, which I also had another mini of this one. So at least now I can use my other mini on something, and then I can use this on the sock. And then this lovely blue is, oh, Mascari. And so it's like a purpley blue. And I think this is one of her usual colorways as well that she often does. So if you're able to ever update during, get one of her updates, you might see this one. Hydrangea, I think is the first time I've seen this one the past few weeks. And I wish it had come in like a really full size. I would have gone completely nuts. But yes, I love Garden Ghost. I cannot get enough Garden Ghost. And I have some plans for all of my Garden Ghosts. So I think I've got a few skeins of it. And I'm going to be doing something interesting with it. So, and I'll tell you about that later when I finally get the time to do those interesting things. And then I got this one, and this one is called Plutonic Blue. And this was in my very first cart because, and it's not showing up as nicely as I'd like to. It's I have the overhead lights on, and the sky has cleared a little bit. It was raining earlier. The sunshine came up for a little bit. We're not having the most consistent weather right now, so it's not translating all that well. And then I've got the Explosion and Mystic Mauve. So this is Explosion and this is Mystic Mauve as the two little ones that go along with it. So lots of fun sock yarn from Viola that I will be knitting into socks and shawls. And actually, I showed the pattern earlier. What I think I'd like to do is make a cardigan with a bunch of multi-colors. So I have lots of Viola yarn, sock yarn, and I think what I would like to do is to actually do the So Faded sweater. I'm not sure if I'll do short sleeve, but I've got enough yarn that I think I could probably do something like that. So I've had this one for a little bit, and again, we'll get to it hopefully this summer. And so yeah, I've got lots of beautiful Viola yarn to put together into a sweater and maybe make something a little bit out of my comfort zone. So, and then I have two final things to share, but they came together, and spoiler alert. So remember, you don't want to see it, turn away, because I have a spoiler alert. And this one is from the Homespun House. It is the Harry Potter Club. So I'm going to show the second installment of this session's Harry Potter Club. So ready for the spoiler? And this one, oh, this one is so beautiful. And it is Weasley is the King. And yes, it is beautiful. So beautiful. And I love these aquas, and I have no idea what I'm going to make with this, but I love it. And another super miniature. So this is now my third. I got the jelly beans that came with the Birdie Spots that came with the first installment of the Harry Potter Club. And then this one is a little cupcake. And it's got a little star on the top. So, I don't know if you can see, whoops, I don't know if you can see the star. It's hard to see. And, yeah, so, that's what I got in the mail this week. Viola yarn, Homespun House, and some super miniatures. And I do have a very large package coming next week. I'm sure that, I don't know where I'm going to put it all. I've got way too much yarn, I think, but can one really ever have way too much yarn, I guess, is the question. So anyway, we'll see what I get next week, and hopefully I'll have some lovely, I think the mailman might get some sort of back injury from all the yarn that he's been bringing to me. So anyway, that's what I have for this week. And oh, I wanted to mention that I've actually signed up for the next Homespun House Harry Potter Club, And I'm also signed up for the next Mrs. Weasley's Knit Club by Nora George, and so I'm really excited about that. Those are kind of the fun clubs that I used to do. The Hedgehog Club, and you know, I've got some beautiful skeins from there, but I really love the themes of the Harry Potter ones. So or just the theme of Harry Potter. So it's sort of nice to have that as something exciting to come in the mail, and then you know, it's nice to have the little markers that go along with it too. So anyway, that will be in the next few months that those 2 Harry Potter clubs will be coming, and so there'll be lots of spoiler alerts happening there. So my bin is now empty and nothing else to show for brown paper packages. But I do have an episode or a segment of Tea Time today. And in my segment of Tea Time, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite teas, and I am actually drinking it today in one of my favorite mugs, because I have lots of one of my favorite mugs. And this one of my favorite mug is, and I've shown it before, my Haunted Mansion Disney, Walt Disney World and Disneyland. I'm sure the other Disneys have them too, the Haunted Mansion. And this is the wallpaper that is in the Haunted Mansion, and it's reflecting the window very badly right now, but it's just this beautiful, I love it. And inside it says hurry back. So, and I'm now drinking cold tea as always. Oh yes, did you see? Haunted Mansion. This is from Disney itself, so Walt Disney World. So today I am drinking lavender tea, and lavender Earl Grey actually is what I'm drinking, and it's from the Tea Palace. And so today I wanted to talk about the Tea Palace. I've talked a bit about David's, which is in Canada and the US, but Tea Palace is based in England. And a couple of years ago, when my husband and I went to England in February, which was a fantastic time of year to go because we left the Canadian snow and ended up seeing daffodils and crocuses, and oh, it was a breath of springtime, which was much needed in our crazy long winter that year. That was 2014. And on the way to the airport, I was actually knocked into a snowbank. That was not fun. So while we were there, we went to the at Kensington Palace. There is the Orangery, and at the Orangery, they have just a little. It's a cafe. The Orangery is, and we just decided to get some tea and some soup, and my husband wasn't feeling very well, and he ended up getting their eucalyptus zest tea, and it is now one of my ultimate favorite teas. I do have some here, and I did check the website. They've got limited supply on the Tea Palace website. So, but the eucalyptus zest is lovely. It's a rooibos base, and it has eucalyptus, and it has like orange peel and orange zest in it. So, and just smells lovely. And if you're not feeling so well, it's a great tea to have if you're feeling under the weather, or if you're wanting just that nice little aromatic lift of the day. So as I said, today I am drinking the organic lavender gray, not lavender Earl Grey, just lavender gray. And there we go. And so it's just beautiful little bits of lavender, black tea, orange bits, and I love this one. So Tea Palace is one of my favorites. However, it costs way too much to have it sent over because I get taxed on it, unfortunately. So when I do buy, the last time I did buy some, I stocked up. So I get the big tin, and then I just buy the refills, and I'll show you what the refills look like. So that is the organic lavender gray. And so they'll send them also in a box like this so that you can take out, it's just got a cello pack inside, and then you can pour it into the big tin. This one is Orange Grove, which is also one of my favorites. And then another one that I love too is Apricot Dream. And Apricot Dream is Apricot Dream, yum. So it's black tea again, lovely little bit. Oh, I love this one. I have some more too in one of these paper containers. I'm throwing these things all around. The other thing they have, and actually they have I think they have a sapphire, I think it's a Sapphire Jubilee right now. They've got a Special Queens one. This one's a little bit old, but I just love the container of it. And this was for the Diamond, this was the Diamond Jubilee blend. And it's kind of neat because it's got like this lovely little, it's just such a neat little tin. And then the black tea is inside. And this is just a regular sort of black blend, like, so no fruits or anything fancy in there, but just a lovely tea. And and the container is that's a keeper. And they also have them in these little tiny ones like this. They have like, this is the white with the purple is, this is the Immune Boost. So these are the, and this one's been here a little bit long. I need to drink it. So the white with the purple are the non-caffeine sort of blends, and then they have a purple little tin like this, but the same color purple as this in the little tiny ones that they put their other blends in. So nice, convenient, wonderful. And so I really love the Tea Palace, but unfortunately, because it's a little expensive to have brought over, I sort of have to go with what I have in my tea stash now. And this is usually the most cost effective. I can get more tea in these, and then I just pull out the sticker and stick it on the whatever tea tin is empty, because I brought a bunch of the tea tins back when I came back from England. So and I also wanted to share with you one of my favorite tea things that I own. And it's also, there's two names. One is Finum and the other one is Tealy. And they're the same thing. It's basically a mesh strainer. And the mesh is so close that this is amazing for rooibos if you like rooibos and you don't have the seep through. You can even use it with coffee, so you don't get the grounds in your cup. So you just put a couple spoonfuls in, you pop it into your cup if you want to do it like that, or if you're making a pot of tea, you can pop it in the top of the tea. It has this little lid / catcher, so you can, while it's steeping, put the lid on to sort of keep things warm, and then when you're ready to take it out of whatever you've put it in, you can then place it there and all the drips are caught in here. So I know there's lots of other ones that have metal, and I've had those before, and some teas don't, they come out of the mesh, so these ones are my preference. So I'm thinking, I had about 4, I think the dog got a hold of one, but which was very sad. So I just throw them in the dishwasher and they are fantastic. So so here, this one's the Finum one. I have ones that say Tealy. I just get them at, or the ones I have bought, I bought at the Tea Emporium in Toronto. And I don't know, I did look on the website to see if they still had them, but I did see that you can go directly to either finum.com or tealy.probably.com, and you can also get them on Amazon. So anyway, one of my favorite things for tea, and it's really great when you just want to throw, you just want to make a really quick cup of tea. Just throw a couple spoonfuls in, pour the hot water in, and you've got some lovely fresh brewed tea. So that is tea time for this week, and I need a much needed relax. There we go. So let's take my notes and check the next page. I feel a bit scattered right now. Okay, so True confessions time. It's time to get serious. The funny thing is, I'm having a hard time getting serious right now. Okay, it's time to get serious. I need to confess something today. I have commitment issues. And many people might think that my commitment issues have to do with the fact that I want to cast on many, many projects. But in fact, I tend to be a monogamous knitter. My commitment issues actually have to do with the type of projects I take on. I tend to really like to do these lovely little one skein wonder projects. You know, I just grab a skein, knit it up, move on to the next project. Grab another skein, knit it up, move along. You know, like really quick projects, shawls, you know, socks, things that don't take too much time. Socks take a little bit more commitment because, of course, you make the one, you've got to then make the matching pair because I like matching pairs. My commitment issues have to do with the fact that I want to do sweaters, but I don't want to commit to everything involved with making those bigger projects, such as buying more than one skein of yarn. Because of course sometimes you get this fabulous, fabulous hand-dyed yarn and they don't always match up perfectly because of course they are one skein wonders. And you don't have to worry about, you know, ends and, you know, do they, you know, will I get this line down the center because I've changed skeins without alternating skeins. With the shawl project, you just knit. You don't have to worry about those, you know, matching up and you know, having two skeins that are close enough together that it's not noticeable. The other thing about knitting sweaters is the time involved. You know, a shawl, when I don't have other things going on in the week and when I'm not spending my entire week on knitting, I can usually do a shawl within a week. I can make a pair of socks in a week if I don't have anything else sort of too pressing. So to make a sweater takes a lot longer than a week for me, and I tend to like fingering weight yarns, so that definitely takes a lot longer than a week. And then there's the whole, what if I make one sleeve longer than the other sleeve? And so there's this whole sort of feeling of inadequacy when it comes to shawls versus sweaters versus bigger projects. A shawl will fit anybody. A sweater, you've got to do a gauge swatch. There's commitment there. And then what happens if I don't have enough yarn? And then if I do have, you know, just that little bit that I'm short, will I be able to get a matching skein? I don't know how many times I've seen on Ravelry that, you know, someone is desperately looking for a little bit of whichever yarn and whichever update that it was available. And then of course there's like some of these crazy yarn updates where, you know, if you get one skein, you are lucky. There's not even a chance that you're going to get a sweater quantity. So, I mean, these things play heavily into my commitment issues. And, you know, I mean, there's something to be said about, you know, knitting up a skein and then, you know, you get through the stash faster that way. Well, maybe not. Not my stash. And there's just so many pretty colors that you then have to, you know, it's so much easier to just commit to buying little one skein wonders. So, and these are part of the problem why I have commitment issues. So I do have two of these now, so maybe I'll do something a little bit bigger with it. So one of my goals this summer is to face this commitment issue and to make at least one cardigan. So, and that's this week's true confession. Nothing terribly shocking. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the Comfy Red Couch this week. I wanted to remind you just to make sure by next Sunday, 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that you send me a message on Ravelry if you would like to be entered to win this lovely skein of Invictus. You don't have to be a subscriber to the channel to put your name in, but I would love to hear where you would love to knit for a week, sew for a week, make for a week. No expenses, just your dream make vacation. Let me know where that would be at Tracy RR on Ravelry. So TRACEYRR, just R as in like not pirate, just the letter. And I'm looking forward to drawing those names next week. So in the meantime, I wish you lots of relaxation, lots of joy, lots of taking care of you and those around you time. So have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next week on the Comfy Red Couch. Bye. What kind of podcast was that? I had no Material Girl, no It's a Softness, and no My Favorite Things. However, I did have 2 co-hosts, so not that they did much.